You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network. Now the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV.
Hey, everybody. Aw, sad. Again. Welcome to the Finding Carter AFTERBUZZ TV After Show. I'm your host, Yael Tygiel. With me is Kylie Hodges. And we're talking about The Heat. The Heat.
What a dramatic title.
Honestly, is it not? I thought it was from the cop movie with Melissa McCarthy.
I really wasn't sure why it was called The Heat, but that with Sandra Bullock and
Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, that's got it. That's the only tie I can see into
That's
why it would be called
why I
The Heat.
decided they called it The Heat. I mean,
nothing burned down.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, there wasn't like more passion, you know.
There was actually a little more passion.
Not
in a closet.
In that. We'll get to the closet. Let's start with The Heat, the two lady cops that we had this week, Carter and Elizabeth. I like that Crash is the genius behind the plot. He's like, like if you want information, befriend a cop.
It's like, how does he know this? Why is he so wise?
Well,
and how often is he working with the police?
Well, so she asks him to look into, Carter asks Crash to look into anyone he knows that makes fake IDs to try to find her mom. And then he gets all offended that because he's a criminal, he knows these things. Yet then he's like, because I'm a criminal, I know that if you befriend a cop and you're not a criminal, they'll, like, help you out.
Yeah, it's like he can call himself a criminal, but she can't.
Yeah. Anyway.
Get over it, Crash.
Silly Crash.
Also, I feel like his appearances in this episode were a little random.
They were unnecessary.
Yeah, it's just because he's pretty.
And is he?
I mean, he's like, if I were 15, I'd be like, oh, yeah. I'm into Crash.
Really? Of the boys on the show, Crash is the one?
I love Max, but I just can't do that hair. I can't.
Why?
It's just not, I'm not into dudes with long hair.
Interesting.
My current boyfriend used to have hair all the way down to, like, past his nips. And he's Mexican, but he looked very Native American. And I told him, like, if I met you at that time, I would not have blinked.
Because of the hair?
I would not have dated you. Yeah, he just looked silly. He looked like he was like a PSA for like saving the the Navajo tribe. I mean, it was like, come on, dude, this is 2014.
All right. So any listeners that wanted to date Kylie and have long hair, get a haircut.
Gots to cut that hair.
Get a haircut, you hippie.
Exactly.
So Carter, taking Crash's advice, really turns on the charm with Elizabeth, and they go, and I love what they do. I love that Elizabeth takes her to the like training facility and teaches her how to use the thing that opens the door. I want to do that.
That looks fun.
And that whole sequence, that whole scene, I was smiling. It's hard to watch that scene and not smile. Yeah, which is weird.
It was nice. We were rooting for Elizabeth, which is a nice. I think like we're throughout the series we're supposed to root for Elizabeth more and more because obviously we're getting to know her and understand why she's so hostile.
And really this episode like did it for me. I love her now.
Me too.
I want her to be happy.
Yeah.
So we see the door thing. I forget what they're called, and I watch a lot of Law and Order, so I should know what they're called. I told you I'll bring it up.
I don't watch any of that stuff. I was actually telling you before we started filming that even when Carter just mentioned seeing a dead body, like it's MTV, so it's not going to be too grotesque. It just showed a leg. I was like, oh, I can't watch this.
Well, that's cute.
I'm queasy.
Oh,
I got a weak stomach.
Yeah, you shouldn't watch any of the Law and Orders. And then they paintball, which is adorable. And for some reason, Carter has the like little handgun, but Elizabeth has like the big gun.
Oh, yeah.
And Carter misses all of the good people, which is good, and all of the bad people. And then she runs out of bullets after she shoots Elizabeth. Yeah.
That's, she needs to go back to the police training academy. Carter wants to make it.
Yeah. And before Elizabeth can shoot Carter, which I'm really glad she didn't, because I think that would have been like, that's odd.
Yeah. Would have been weird.
She gets a phone call and they go to a crime scene. Elizabeth tells Carter to stay in the car because there's a dead body. And then we see this really interesting, different side of Elizabeth. We see her with, sympathy for someone. We see her being kind because this woman who was being abused murdered her husband who was abusing her. Mm-hmm. And the scene that we get to see of Elizabeth dealing with this woman is really heartbreaking. And then we get this amazing conversation between Carter and Elizabeth asking how does Elizabeth decide who deserves sympathy? What did you think about this conversation? I
loved that. Because she said something about not everything is so black and white. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that just goes to show everything about this show. Not everything is black and white with her relationship with her husband David, or like her feelings towards Carter, or how she's supposed to feel towards Lori, this woman who stole her child. I mean, there is no right or wrong, and Carter is very much in the middle of that gray area in her life as well.
Yeah, I agree. That was beautiful. Thank you. I love that Carter asks her, how do you decide? And I wish that conversation would have continued. Mm-hmm. Because, this is a conversation they should have had in the first episode. And I can't believe it took us this long to have it, and that it was cut short.
Well, they are both very stubborn, and she comes off as abrasive. So it just wouldn't have worked. They were not...
Who comes off as abrasive?
Elizabeth.
Sorry. Okay.
I feel like their characters they clashed so much instantly that there was no time for them to even have a conversation because one would have pushed away the other. Mm-hmm. So they're slowly warming up to each other.
I get so frustrated because if they talked about it, I think they would find common ground and they would be good together. And they'd be able to live and be happy and everything would be great and sunshine and, butterflies.
And then the show would be done.
Yes, that's what I want. But so as the episode goes on, we see that Elizabeth really cherished those 5 minutes of laughter. Because it was, I think, the first time we've seen them both happy and laughing. And it really reminds me of last episode when we see that Carter is happy and she knows that she has her family and that, she almost forgot about Lori. And so, it's just so great to see it building and building, and I cannot wait to see where it goes.
Yeah.
And at the end of the episode, Elizabeth finds Carter upset, and we'll get to why. And Elizabeth says that she's going to stop looking for Lori. That, I think, was the biggest thing. Yeah. What did you think when this happened?
I was a little surprised, but not too surprised. I saw that coming. Mm-hmm. But I think that in order for Elizabeth to have the relationship that she wants with Carter, she would have had to stop looking for Lori. Mm-hmm. Or at least pass the case on to somebody and stay out of it.
Interesting.
I just think, Carter will never be able to accept Elizabeth as, loving her as a parent if she knows that she's trying to get, not revenge, but bring something bad into the life of the first woman who raised her.
Right. I think what was really interesting is that Carter brings up when they're, after the crime scene, she says, you need to ask Lori why she did it. Maybe you need to understand why she did it. And I'm dying to know. I want us to know. I want answers.
Yeah.
I want conversations. And I feel like this is MTV and I will not get any of it.
Well, do you want to save my feelings about Lori till later?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So I think the only other thing about Elizabeth and Carter's situation this week is Kyle approaching Carter in the car, which was the funniest, I think, interaction ever, where he says something about her mom and she goes, Elizabeth. He's like, I know that's what you call her. And then I think the best line is oh, somebody wants you over there. Who? Me. So good. I have to use that.
That was good.
I wish I was a 16-year-old obnoxious child because I want to use that all the time.
Someday you will.
Yeah. I will find a reason to use that. Let's talk a little bit about Elizabeth and David this episode.
Okay. A lot of stuff for them.
Yeah. So Elizabeth and Carter are out at, bonding, I guess. Bonding over cops and criminals. Mm-hmm. And David's publicist comes in, or publisher. Yes?
Can we go before that?
Yeah.
When Carter asks Elizabeth to go on a ride along, doesn't he throw some major shade at Elizabeth? I'm trying to, literally all I wrote in my notes was Elizabeth says, yes, Dad throws major shade at Elizabeth. I'm trying to remember what it was, but I remember, like, that scene ended and he, like, gave her attitude or something, and I can't remember what it was.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
That totally happened.
Right?
And in my notes, I have that David just had mood swings the entire episode.
Yeah.
He hated Elizabeth, and then he was all romantic, and then he was all, bitter. And it just went back and forth.
Yeah.
And if he was a woman, I would have a really offensive question to ask about his time of the month. Because
this show, we are always going there.
Yeah.
Okay, Yael and I have dirty minds, but I think mine's just way worse.
I don't know if that's true. But I feel like he's just so mood swingy.
Yes.
And I want to be like, sweetie, like, get some chocolate and cuddle up with a bottle of wine. Like,
Turn
calm
on a
down.
J-Lo rom-com.
Yeah. Get ready for some crying. Because he's, like, upset. And I love, so when his publisher comes in and he reveals that the check is real, soon is now. Yay, soon is now.
Soon is right this second,
Yeah.
not soon. No longer soon.
No longer soon. It's now, and it will help. And he's like, I'm going to take this check, show it to Elizabeth, and then I'm going to get a divorce. And I'm so glad that his publisher's like, well, then you can't have the check.
I thought that was really funny, too.
Yeah, because he's right. Like, he would have to split it.
Oh, okay. See, I thought maybe he was just trying to do that to, like, manipulate David so that David's home life stays stable where he's still able to create the book.
No.
No, legally, you're right. He would have to split it.
He says, if I give this to you, she takes half of it. I can't give you anything until it's officially separated, which isn't, I believe, true. I believe you have to be legally divorced. I think just being separated, you still have to share.
Probably.
That's what I think. I'm no lawyer. I just watch a lot of TV.
Yeah. Never been divorced. Don't know much.
Not yet. Yeah.
Wow. What crystal ball are you looking into? Shit. I'm doomed.
We're all doomed. So I love that David reveals that he knows that she's cheating. He knew that she was going to leave him for Kyle right before they found Carter.
Yes.
And he says, like, I knew this was happening, and now I see that it's happening again. How does he know?
I don't know, because it's never shown, like, him leering in the background or, like, behind a bush when they're making out or something that would imply.
I mean, he says, like, she's working longer hours, and I get that that means they're back together. But how does, like, he was never, because he, as we learned, never leaves the house because he's always working in his room. So how does he know?
I don't know. The only thing that could maybe give it away would be in the last episode when they were like, did Elizabeth discover weed? No, she just got laid.
Right.
But how would he, I mean, maybe he would know, because at one point they've probably done it. They had to have done it. They have children.
They've had to have done it at least twice.
Have maybe seen her like that before, but yeah, how would he know?
There's no way to know. I mean, he can suspect and he can think and he can believe. But until he doesn't have any, I don't believe he has any concrete evidence.
Right.
So through the episode, he starts with his throwing shade, as you put it.
I really can't remember why he was giving her attitude in that scene. And I'm going to remember it the minute we're done with this podcast. I feel like it had to do with him, like, reacting to letting Carter do it.
Maybe. I mean,
I can't remember, though.
I think it was something that Carter had said, because the way she approached it was like, it was because Elizabeth isn't dumb.
Right.
Unlike the rest of the police. But Elizabeth says to her, like, why do you want to go with me all of a sudden?
Right.
And do you recall Carter's response as to why? Oh, well, I just remember she had a genius response. That's all I remember. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't remember. I just remember
we had amnesia during this scene, apparently.
Yeah.
We didn't take good notes.
No.
Uh-oh.
I was distracted by how excited I was for this episode. So David knows that Elizabeth's cheating, and then David's mood swings. The scene where he makes the sandwich, and Elizabeth is trying to be a little more
jovial.
Yeah, she's happier because she had a great day with Carter.
Yeah.
And he's not having any of it.
No.
And then all of a sudden, like, she wants to watch a movie, and so he's like, I want to watch a movie with you. Like, let's share popcorn. Let's snuggle. He's such a... Ugh.
I went from liking him to hating him in 0 to 60 seconds.
Yeah,
He's kind of a sleaze.
They're flipping both the characters, and it makes me unhappy. And here's the thing, is that I love the actor who plays David, and it makes me really sad because he usually isn't always a great guy. So I was really excited to see him be a good guy, and he just continues to be kind of a sleaze.
Yeah. Yeah, he also... Didn't he like got mad when she fell asleep, right?
No, he got mad that the phone was ringing and it was Kyle.
And that's why he got up and left.
And she was like, what the F? Yeah. Like I'm saying, mood swings.
They need couples therapy. I know they have like family therapy, but they need like couples therapy.
They need couples therapy. They need family therapy. Elizabeth and Carter need therapy together.
Yeah.
Carter needs therapy alone.
Yeah.
And each of the kids need therapy.
They just need to quit all their jobs in school and just do therapy. With the amount of therapies that they need.
They can do it while working and going to school. It's possible.
It's possible.
And I want them to do it.
They do need it.
But one way they could do it is they could go on iTunes and rate and review the show. Yeah.
Fantastic transition. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm working on doing something clever.
Very good.
Thanks.
So what on iTunes can they do?
You could rate and review our show. That's right, guys. We do this after show because we like the show. I know we joke about it a lot, but we do actually enjoy watching the show.
That's right.
And we do this for you because we want to. And what you could do for us, other than listen, which we appreciate, is rate and review the show on iTunes. So if you like our show, give us 5 stars. If you don't like our show, give us 4 stars. And leave in the comments what we can be doing better or what we are doing great. Clearly, we are doing great at making stupid jokes. We've got that down.
Hey-o.
Also, converse with us on YouTube, because I know that I definitely go there and, join the conversation.
Yeah, chat with us on YouTube and Twitter. We're all about responding.
Yes.
We love hearing from you guys.
We do. So rate and review on iTunes. Thank you. Let's get back to the show.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the main thing that I've been holding. I've been like, I want to talk about this, but I put it aside.
Let
so
it
we
out.
get to it. Okay.
Let it out.
Taylor.
Oh, man. Taylor is a new woman after this episode.
Yeah. So Max, at the beginning of the episode, reveals to Carter that Lori is in town. Then that whole story with Carter and Elizabeth and all that goes on. But Max and Taylor are getting close. And it's romantic and adorable.
It's awesome.
And I love Carter goes off to a party and Max is like, we should go to this party too. And when he picks her up and carries her, it was so cute.
I thought it was ridiculous, though, that when Taylor gets to the party and she sees that they're smoking pot without their shirts on, her reaction is to cover her eyes.
Well, I think...
at first I was like, is this because she's seeing boys without a shirt on or because she's seeing drugs? Because if it's boys without a shirt, that's ridiculous.
I think it was the boys. That's my theory.
That's so stupid.
So, fans, correct me if I'm wrong, but I took it as, so the boys had no shirt on, and Bird, I think, was just in her bra at the time.
Oh, I didn't look at Bird.
And I think they were playing strip poker.
Okay, that would make sense.
I think there was a reason that they were partially undressed.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Probably. When I was that age, I was always trying to find an excuse for everybody to take their clothes off.
You needed an excuse?
Have you ever heard of the game Padiddle?
No.
Okay.
Teach us Padiddle.
To anybody listening or watching, I'm sure some of you have played Padiddle before. It's like when you're driving in a car and you see another car with a headlight out, everybody has to scream Padiddle and hit the roof of the car. And the last person to do it has to remove an item of clothing.
Oh. That's the game?
Yeah, I would ride around in cars with boys and girls, and we would just... I was always distracted, and so I would end up saying Padiddle last, so I'm the one without a shirt on when all I wanted was the boys without their shirts on. They're all fully clothed, and it's winter in Wisconsin.
We had a very similar game that was when you go through a yellow light, you kiss your hand and smack the roof, and the last and say sex for some reason.
Wow.
It's just a 3 thing, and then the last person took an item of clothing off. So similar.
Teenagers are just trying to find ways to get naked.
Yeah, but we didn't really need to find ways. We just were like, all right, let's get naked. Speaking of,
Getting naked. Talk about, oh man, getting intimate.
Yeah. So they finish a bottle of wine and they're like, what a bottle. Let's play spin the bottle. And I love that Carter is like, I want Taylor to have this experience. This is for Taylor. So we're rigging the game so that Taylor has to make out with everybody.
She's the ultimate wing woman.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
And at first I was so uncomfortable with the fact that they're pressuring Taylor to do this.
I found it actually a little odd that she was trying to get Taylor to make out with everybody. Mm-hmm. I would find it more normal if she was like, all right, I'm going to rig this and try and set her up with Max. Or
whoever.
Or
someone. Yeah. One person. Yeah. I also thought that was the plan.
It's like, oh, everybody in this room is just going to make out with Taylor and they're cool with that? Okay.
So I had this weird, like, adult issue going on where I'm like, we're forcing this young teenage girl to make out with a handful of different people without really consulting her and her consent and feelings about it.
Lack of consent is a bad thing.
Yeah. Me as an adult is like, this seems highly inappropriate.
I must call the MTV police.
Yes. But me as a girl who's been in that age, I was like, yeah, like, let's help her get whatever she wants.
Yeah.
And this is a great,
luckily, this scene turned out great, and there was nothing questionable or wrong about it. It was,
and at no point was Taylor like, "No, I don't want to do this."
Exactly, the very opposite.
Yes. So her first kiss is with Ophi.
This scene made me love Ophi.
Yeah,
he was adorable, and he's like, "All right, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna walk you through this. Mm-hmm. I got this." Like he scooped her up and showed her the way.
He really stepped up to the plate and was like, I know this is your first time and I'm gonna be a good guy about it. And they kissed and he's like, well, how was that? Okay, here's some tips. Like, let's do this. Great. Amazing scene.
Yeah.
Then when Taylor had to kiss Gabe and she just like pounced.
Yeah, my God.
Because she finally had the, nerve to do it.
When that happened, I thought, oh, is this like the start of something with her and Gabe? Because the first episode, it kind of seemed like she obviously had a thing for Gabe.
I mean, I think she
still does.
Yeah.
So she has a thing for everybody. Mm-hmm. But I think they're just horned up.
Yeah.
Just ready to pounce on anything.
Well, my first fear was that, because from what we've been presented with for Taylor, is that Taylor seems to get attached to any boy who shows her any attention. Mm-hmm. And so when Ophi was so good to her, I was like, oh, crap. Like, she's going to be, quote, unquote, air quotes, everyone, in love with Ophi. And
I actually would love to see that.
Taylor and Ophi?
Yeah, I think I love all the boys now after this episode.
Interesting.
I mean, I know that I was hating on Max's hair, but I love Max.
Yeah.
As a person.
Yes.
And his face is great, and his body's great. I'm not upset about any of them.
I feel weird. I can't appreciate their looks because they're all like 12 in my mind.
Yeah, well, I'm putting that aside. I think in real life they're probably older than the character.
Yes. I'm sure they're all in their early 20s, but still.
They're all like 30.
God, I hope so.
How weird would that be?
So the second kiss is Gabe. And I love that she pounces, and it's really, I feel like the first kiss was education. Mm-hmm. The second kiss was like sexual passion. And the third kiss, the one we'd been waiting for, was love.
Oh, so
cute.
Sweet.
And she kisses Max. And I love that he wanted to be her first kiss. That's so cute.
He was really bummed about it.
Yeah.
And then she talked about it like she was this wise old woman and it happened years ago. She's like, oh no, I wouldn't have been ready then. It's like, that was 14 minutes ago.
A little more. Let's give him a minute in between.
Yeah, okay. It was like 20-ish. You're a brand new woman after 20 minutes? My God.
Well, I mean, Ophi apparently is a great teacher. Apparently. Because Gabe was all about it.
Yeah.
And that tells you something about Gabe, is I think Gabe is this... he is attracted to women who know what they want, regardless of if it's him or not.
Interesting.
Because he was all about Carter.
Yeah.
And she's this strong, I don't give a hoot woman.
I love that you just said I don't give a hoot.
Well, I wasn't going to say...
Great censoring.
You say bad words, I try not to.
I know, I need to work on it. Sorry, guys.
So, I think Gabe, we've learned a lot about Gabe in this episode.
Yeah.
Taylor and Max decide they're going to go home. And I was
very
like...
adult of them.
I
want to go somewhere else.
Well, I started to worry that, like, now that she has her first kiss, she's like, now I'm ready for everything.
Yeah. I definitely was worried about that too. I mean, we don't really know what went on in her bedroom with Max, but all the clothes were on, so I'm going to say first base.
I feel like if it went further, there would be a discussion. I feel like Taylor's the kind of girl that would want to talk to Carter about it and get advice and help and information.
Yeah.
Or at least Google it.
Do you... I have this thought. Do you find it... I mean, I know... Well, no. Do you find this a little incestuous that Carter was with Max as friends with benefits and then he moved on to Taylor?
No. No.
I think I mean I had a thought where I was like, oh, that might be a little odd, and then instantly I was like, nah, just because he was with Carter before he knew Taylor. Before she knew Taylor.
If Max had suggested the three of them, that would be incestuous. I think the fact that he's been with both is not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think because it's been separate. And they're really, I mean, they don't feel like sisters. You know what I mean? We still don't see them as twins.
They're like roommates.
They are like roommates or like weird cousins. Like, I feel like Carter came to town and, has to drag around her loser cousin Taylor. And that sucks.
Everybody needs to make out with my loser cousin Taylor. Please just like do me a solid and make out with Taylor.
And not a single person minded.
Yeah, I also found that interesting.
Yeah.
But horny boys.
I mean, I think
and they might all be into her, I don't know.
Maybe, because I think if you ask a group of horny boys if they'll make out with just anyone, they will say no. I feel like there are limits.
Any horny boys watching? Is this true?
Yeah. Do you have a do you have a limit? Do you draw a line somewhere?
You're right. They're probably gonna say yes.
Anyway. The other thing
we're about to get some weird YouTube
we're gonna have weird tweets. The other thing that happens at this party is that we're calling it this event at Bird's house, Bird and Crash. Let's talk about Crash for a second.
I dislike Bird more and more with every episode. Okay, go ahead with Crash.
No, that was beautifully said. I don't like Crash. I never liked him from the beginning. Yeah. He's a dumb bad boy.
He wasn't it right before him and Bird went into the closet to hook up. He's like, Carter, stick around. I want to talk to you about something. He never talked to her about it, right?
No.
Like we never.
No, because Carter.
What was he going to talk?
It was about. It was because Carter had asked Crash for help on getting a message to Lori.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, well, you have Max. He's your puppy dog, and like he would do anything for you. I want to be that, which is weird and creepy.
It is weird.
To begin with, I don't like Crash. I really don't like him because he's dumb. He's not even like a bad boy that you want to be with. He's a bad boy who's stupid.
Yeah, he's not bad. I agree with what you said earlier that his presence in this episode was kind of unnecessary, but I think they wrote him in just because we're going to need to see more of him later, and they kind of want us to like not forget about him. And I
think also he's there to drive a wedge between Carter and Bird. And that's the thing that by the end of the episode, Carter, I feel like, has lost everyone.
Yeah, totally.
And we'll get there in a second, but I want to talk a little bit more about this Bird-Carter war that keeps going on.
Bird is the shittiest friend. Excuse me. Crappiest. Worst. Bird is the worst friend.
Bird is the word? Sorry, guys. I'm sorry I had to go there.
But she really was. Like, first she makes those creepy paintings. Then she puts them all over the school.
But as people have yelled at us on YouTube about, those, as she says, those paintings were about her. She just couldn't use her own face.
That's true.
Right. Okay. But say it. Like, get the words out. And if you have a problem with Carter, talk to her.
Right.
I don't understand how she got upset that everyone's making out with Taylor. But the way she reacts to that is by hooking up with Crash.
Yeah.
To make Carter upset.
Yeah, she definitely, the whole party was like, obviously trying to push Carter's buttons. She's like, oh, you don't mind? I'm not stepping on any territory by just parking my butt in Crash's lap? You don't mind that? Oh, okay. Here, let me touch him some more.
We're going to go in the closet.
Now we're going to bang in the closet very
really loudly. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not cool, bird.
I feel like it was that loud because they kept losing their balance and like falling over.
It's like they're on a trampoline in there or something.
I don't know what they were doing, but it didn't sound like
get your footing.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Come on, guys. Hold on to something.
What are you, rookies? They probably are.
Yeah.
They're 16.
Don't hold on to a door that slides. Come on.
Yeah.
What are you, silly?
Here's a tip for you. Don't hold on to a sliding door.
Yeah. You need to ground yourself. Anyway. So Carter leaves the party all upset. But Gabe has fallen, there are air quotes for those listening, fallen for Taylor all of a sudden, wants her to call him. And Carter's like, drive me home, jerk. He takes her home. That's what happens.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. She goes upstairs and Taylor and Max are making out. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why she covers her eyes there. They're dressed and they're making out.
Yeah.
Then again, it is weird that she just like walks into the house.
Totally.
Yeah.
In her
into
bedroom like that.
Yeah, into Taylor's room.
Can't even like knock a little bit. Yeah. Nothing.
I mean, you were an only child, so like you didn't know that that's how you react, but like it's someone's bedroom.
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
And I love. We didn't talk about Grant yet, but Grant has this.
Let's talk about Grant now.
Internet girlfriend.
His
Not
girlfriend.
a girlfriend.
Yeah. So adorable.
Very cute.
I really hope that we get more of that. I like it a lot.
Grant is a fictitious AFTERBUZZer, essentially.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because they just talk about TV that they like, right?
They talk about movies.
Yeah, movies, yeah.
So good. I wanted to join that conversation. I was like, oh my goodness, when he's older, he's going to be perfect for me.
Yeah, Grant, so what did you think of this season's Game of Thrones?
Oh. Grant is definitely my favorite character on the show.
He's very lovable.
He has yet to disappoint me.
And it's funny when when Carter knocks on Grant's door, he's like, can't come in. I'm having a convo with the lady and I don't really want to make it a three-way conversation. It's funny because he's so little.
Yeah, he's adorable and wonderful. And and I want Max and Grant to live together. That's what I want.
I feel like he's going to be a hero in some scene at some point.
Yeah.
Grant is going to somehow save the day.
He already has saved the day. He's making us watch the show.
In our hearts.
Yeah. He saved my heart. I don't know what that means. So after Max and Taylor are done making out, Taylor, being a gentleman, walks Max outside.
No. Taylor's a girl.
Yeah, I know. It's a joke.
Oh. Wow.
Taylor's a gentleman.
Taylor's a gentleman.
She walks him out.
This is true. I'm really dumb.
It's okay. And Lori's there. Lori being creepy.
Yeah.
She's in front of the house. And I like that Max calls it out.
The worst stalker.
How do they not have like a police car watching the house?
Yeah, you would think there would be some sort of like legit investigation monitoring activity around the house. I have a problem with Lori's approach to this.
Let's talk about Lori.
She's so angry and in like a frantic way, and I understand that she's like desperate to get her quote unquote daughter back. But I just feel like her interactions with Max are very dumb on her part. Very, very, very dumb. Like, I'm surprised that Max hasn't done something yet. And I know he's trying to remove himself from the situation, but I was expecting him to accidentally say something to Elizabeth.
I'm surprised he hasn't said something not accidentally to Elizabeth. And I love that he says to her, like, you know what? The best thing I can do, because you won't leave me alone, is I'm going to walk in there and say that you're here. Because you're stupid and you came to their house.
Yeah, it's true.
And the argument that they have about if Carter is her daughter. Lori, I want to know why.
Yeah.
I want a reason.
I feel like we will find out more.
Yeah.
Eventually. MTV just keeps us watching because we want a reason.
Yeah. Oh, MTV. I feel like this is the perfect time to go into
Predictions.
Yeah.
And now,
Lights.
your AfterBuzz TV.
Woo. Predictions. Kylie.
Yeah. My prediction?
Yeah, what do you think's gonna happen?
I think that David and Elizabeth are going to have a huge fight.
Oh, thank you.
I think Taylor and Max are going to go public.
Okay.
I think Carter, I don't know, she's kind of in a lonely place.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out what is going to become of her next.
I think...
oh, go ahead.
No. Ask.
I was going to say possibly because she does feel so alone, and now that she's aware that her mom is looking for her, she's going to do something kind of stupid in order to find her mom. And then it's going to screw things up to find Lori, and it's going to screw things up for Lori getting to her.
Yes, I agree. I think that now that by the end of this episode, she had just made all these friends and family and whatever, and she felt super alone.
Yep.
I think that Elizabeth is going to accidentally push too hard, and then Carter's going to like blow up and be like, F everybody and ruin everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think Lori is going to get caught by the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's going to get caught 'cause she's going to do something dumb. I think the Gabe, Max, Taylor triangle is going to become a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think Gabe is going to do that, and it's going to hurt. I think Carter is just going to be more and more upset and alone, and woe is me, and the battle with Bird will continue.
Yeah. Bird.
Bird.
Get it together, girl.
I'd like Bird and Crash to leave. That's what I want. They can get together and leave. Yeah. Those are my predictions.
Those are solid predictions.
Excellent. Kylie, why don't you tell the people where they can find you online?
You can find me on the interwebs of Twitter and Instagram at the Kylie Hodges.
Awesome. And the people can find me online at yael.tv. That's yael.tv. There you will find information about the beautiful stylings from Siren's Boudoir. You'll also find exclusive interviews from Comic-Con this past weekend. And you can also find me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Google Plus at Yael Tygiel. That's YaelTygiel. And we will see you next week for more Finding Carter.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.